Good evening, and welcome to a wonderful, wonderful scene for the Living World of Darkness, the Werewolf venue. This is actually a follow-up to the earlier follow-up scene. Um, after the whole, I'm not even going to go to the whole thing, but basically we have a really confused kinfolk on our hands that we're, apparently having to babysit as much as she really, really hates the idea, and I really don't blame her. But because of this, we're actually heading. Actually, I'm just going to say we stopped someplace to get more alcohol on the way back, because that just makes sense. I'm sorry, I don't think that they would have much, and it's needed at the moment. So we're going to say we did that, and then we're heading up to Leah's apartment, where it's actually a lot neater than the last time that I had a scene there, because last time was kind of strewed with garbage and everything. But it's been cleaned up. And Leah's fussing with the locks on the door as we speak. I don't know what the others are doing. I assume waiting for Leah to finish fussing with the locks. So she's like, lock, 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 fiddle, fiddle, lock, lock, twist key. It finally opens. And she opens the door with almost a flourish to let everybody else go inside.
Well, she's been silent through most of the ride. Still clutching that bottle that might still have, like, a sip in it, but not much more. Um, she's actually not really moving unless you kind of push her in.
Mm-hmm. Hand between the shoulder blades, guiding in.
Once they're inside, Leah will also follow and close the door, and then turn around immediately to put all of the millions of locks from the inside. Finishing that. Basically, it opens up into it's not even a big room. It's basically a one-room apartment aside from the bathroom, which there's a door off to the right. That is probably that. It's either that or a bedroom, but if you look, it's a bathroom. There's a curtain off to the right as well that's kind of blocking a certain area of it. But in front of you, there's a couch, a chair, and there's like a little kitchenette back there. It's not big at all. And there's like a sort of a student desk off to one side that has various. I don't know if you know anything about making jewelry, but there's stuff to make that sitting on there. It's not fancy, but the furniture's nice enough. It is new, and it's where she lives. It's not fancy, but it does its job. So she'll kind of gesture, just be like, have a seat. We'll actually have a seat on your bed for the evening. As she gestures to the couch. Yeah.
So she'll look around slowly through the apartment. She's registering it, but that's about it. She's just, you know, crouching down or sitting down on the couch and pulling her knees up on it and starts hugging the bottle again.
And for his part, it's just going to go ahead and lean against the wall, actually.
Are you avoiding things of comfort again, Alan?
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't feel comfortable right now, and I don't want to lapse into comfort. I'm on edge.
She's gonna walk up to him. Just give him a hug. And then step back. She's not trying to be pushy, just a hug. And then uh, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't actually remember things happening, so, you know. Honestly, though, I mean, I can deal with a few days of, you know, living in people's, sleeping on people's couches and sleeping bags or whatever. But I'm not going to live like that. I'm not going to live in fear. I'm just telling you.
I remember living for about 3 weeks on couches. Not the same couch any single night.
You do what you have to do, and that's fine. I'm not being a snob about it. I'm just saying. I'm not going to let someone chase me out of my life.
There are big and powerful things out there.
Yeah,
I
I'm
wish
aware.
to, I wish I was the biggest and powerful thing out there, but I'm not. I'm not even close. I'm afraid. Very afraid.
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
Wish I could have done things differently. Just a tiny bit differently.
Like what? Be able to see the future? Because we all know how well that's gone when we get to do that.
Hmm. Maybe a day or two into the future.
I'm going to say no in general on the future seeing.
I don't know what really happened. I was.
Sick. You were
Mm-hmm.
sick.
Mm-hmm. Sobered up really quickly though. Looking over to the now kind of drunken kinfolk.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I could use a drink myself. None of us knows what happened. That's kind of why everything's screwed. You okay over there, Senna? You gonna fall off the couch?
No, no, yeah, no. I'm good.
Want some water or anything?
Yeah, sure.
Go grab a bottle from the fridge and take it over to her.
Okay. 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 Let's focus on what we know. Focus on what needs to happen. We know that Travis and them were, well, Mercy and them were spooked. Spooked by conflicting memories and some sort of worm taint.
Mm-hmm. Evidently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and
Elia?
well, that and apparently that guy there, the other guy, the one who kept bringing you water.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently he was a changeling. As she looks at her phone. I don't think he had anything to do with it. At least I would guess not, but who knows?
I don't deal with the fair folk. Never had, probably never will. But that's not good news either.
It doesn't bother me. The only part that bothers me is that apparently he was a big douche to contemplate. I wasn't.
Contemplates?
That's what I'm told. Apparently he was a big douche. I wasn't there. I guess it must have been when Senna and I went on our random bathroom trip that we don't know why we went for.
Looks at phone.
You grabbed my phone?
It's like, no, he looks at his own phone. Sent you that text for some reason. Must have been important.
She actually digs. She goes to look at the ones for him. The text she was looking at before was not that, but she's gonna look over to Alan's text and be like, "Oh my God, you did!" So that's why we went on that random bathroom trip. She flips the phone to Senna. Look, it's the text that Alan sent to Leah.
I see. Cool.
Well, at least now we know he went to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you have questions, just ask them. By the way, I know we're talking a lot of shit and it's probably over your head, but if you want to know something, just ask.
Um, I want to know what's going on and what are you guys and what am I and what's going to happen to me?
With any luck, you will end up living a somewhat normal life, but with mixed in with a lot of these weirdos, as she points at Alan.
Not just hippies. He says that you look like a goddamn hippie. Red, colored glasses and everything.
Look, you and I, we're kinfolk. Our job is to help and support the guru and it's the werewolves in the things they do to protect us. They are way stronger, usually, way faster, and it takes way more to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And they have trouble going out in public a lot. So we end up helping with some of that stuff too. And the fact that we can be around them is helpful. So you can be things like friends, husbands, wives, kids, etc. A lot more easily than humans, regular humans.
Are we also going to change in those big wolfy things.
Um, how old are you?
I'm 24,
Not likely.
I think.
You think?
Well, um,
I'm gonna
I
say you're
might.
not likely to change at this point. It means you're gonna have a whole bunch of people who consider you family that you've never met in your life.
Okay, just because I'm kinfolk.
Yeah.
So it's a smart idea to prepare another bedroom.
What do you mean? For what?
Apparently, sleepover is a thing.
This is a special situation. I'm hoping it won't last longer than a few days. You and I both have lives to live.
Hmm.
I mean, if you want to prepare a second bedroom, you can.
Don't really have a place, but the place for it. But I guess I can just, at least have an inflatable mattress there. I don't know.
I just have a couch. You see it. This is like my whole apartment. Behind that curtain is my bed.
If I remember correctly, you had a very, very plush living room.
Yeah.
And yeah, Alan's one of the ones that change.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what other questions you had. There might have been something else, but I think I might have missed it. There are a bunch of rules that you'll have to learn, but that doesn't have to be tonight.
Okay.
Cinna,
Yeah.
walking over, sitting on the floor, actually looking at you. What do you know about native cultures?
From here?
From here or from anywhere?
Mm, not, nothing specifically other than what we learned in, well, high school and university, stuff like that.
When the world was young, we all lived in a more hunter-gatherer society. We would walk and we would travel and we would pick up any type of food that we could get. That was our way, that was our stock in life. We gathered in small settlements, and from those settlements, the rest of the civilization follows. And ever since the beginning, there has always been another world. Secret, invisible. At least now it is. In the earlier part of the world, it was very much out in the open, where anybody and anyone could see the invisible world and all those invisible beings, the spirits. They floated freely. They were free citizens of the entire world. Nowadays, it is not so. Nowadays, there is a huge barrier between the world invisible and the world you live in now.
Like,
You are one of the citizens of the nation that live both in the world invisible and the world here.
mm, who else lives here then?
We are all part of the nation. We call it the Garu Nation simply because that is what we are. That is what we call ourselves. You, and most of the other world, the rest of the world is full of all types of superstitions about wolfmen that attack on a full moon. I have to admit, there is some truth to those myths, but it's not the complete and utter story. We are a varied people with all manner of temperament and all manner of culture. We come from all over the world, but we have had to remain invisible because as the invisible world is slowly but surely getting pulled away from this one, we understand that this world here is hostile to us. We can no longer live out in the open. And this is why we have the veil. The veil to cover the eyes of humanity, so they do not see, so they do not find us and enact whatever hostile intention they may have. We are the invisible ones from the invisible world.
But you are visible. I can see you.
Because I have chosen that. Because I have chosen to make myself known. Earlier, I kept myself secret. I needed to. You were not to be brought into the nation. But due to events that have transpired, you're now being brought in. Believe me, this is not the way I would have done it.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I knew about it before too, and I was told I couldn't.
Why?
I wanted to let you know, but why what?
Why did it have to go like this then?
Because it seems that we've been kind of screwed with by the enemy.
Enemy?
Yeah.
What kind of enemy is that?
Yeah, I'm leaving that one to Alan. He's going to be so much better at explaining this than me.
Very well. Cinna, have you ever heard the term Gaia?
It is an ancient Greek, I believe, name for the mother, the first god ever, like the mother, the one who created the earth. She was, as far as I know, she was there before even the Titans and the Giants. Or she was a Titan, I can't really know.
You certainly know your stories. I'm impressed.
Yes. We are all children of that very, very first mother. Because Gaia is real. Gaia is very much this planet here. She is the one that all broods come from. Everything from the invisible world has its own brood, but every single brood comes from Gaia, comes from the Great Mother, comes from the planet. This little green and blue orb that just spins around the sun, it's alive. It is great, and it is alive.
Okay. So, what is a... No, I forgot the question.
think my question that perhaps Alan should explain next is what Gaia has to do with the enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Gaia is the mother. Gaia is the greatest. Gaia is the creator of all things. However, there are others. There are others that were spurned from her, started from her, but grew into something much more. There is the wild, that of unbridled creation that continues to be the genesis of every creative endeavor, every wonderful plant, every reproduction, every flowing forest, and every new life can thank the wild for its existence. It is the genesis, it is the creator. On the other side, there is the destroyer, the corrupter, the defiler. That is the way the world will end. The world will end because this giant spiritual destroyer will overwhelm everything. The one that stands between them, that should make things orderly, that is the namer. That is the thing that has gone ahead and run amok in our 21st century. Whenever you see something that's orderly, whenever you see something that's been built up, hell, this entire city is just one glorification to an organized entity that wants to organize everything. We, Gairu, of the Gairu Nation, we are children of Gaia. We are Gaian. We come from the mother herself.
Mm-hmm.
The enemy comes from the destroyer, comes from the corrupter, comes from the defiler. They abandon Gaia and now lead a very, very strongly spiritual corruption that would take both of you and end everything. Starting with you, then on to the rest of the nation, then on to the rest of the world. An ultimate end is to destroy everything. And the enemy, it's very much like us. But as I said, they now serve the destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, we have a very, very strong suspicion based on the evidence that we have that one of the corruptor's minions may have targeted you or anybody else at that art gallery. And we are making all due effort to make sure that you are safe.
Why?
Because you're
Why?
family. You're family. Honestly, that's what it boils down to.
Okay. So we're like far, far away cousins or something?
Yeah, kinda.
Gaia has fewer and fewer children every year, and every child that we recognize is one that we keep close to us. We do not want to lose it. We want to preserve it. We would sacrifice everything just to make sure that the children of Gaia continue to survive. And I use this term because that is my tribe.
So
We
you're
are all.
important.
There are different tribes among the Garu.
Mm-hmm. But in the end, it sounds like a piece of like a chess game, and the child of Gaia is the king.
Oh, please don't pass that around. In your time, Sina, I hope you do have the time. You go ahead and look at other Garu and see the differences there. I am one that realizes that we are all just one people, come from the same Genesis, come from the same mother. There are other Garu who think and believe differently, and who have different lineages than me.
Well, for example, he comes from Child of Gaia lineage. I come from Black Fury lineage.
Yeah,
Black Fury,
you
Greek.
look furious.
I am Greek.
Greek. Okay, Greek. Yes.
Well, Greek American, but you know how that is.
So, children of Gaia come from Gaia, and you come from Greece.
Well, we all come from Gaia, really. It's just that there are different types. And the tribe that I am kinfolk of is Black Fury. My grandmother my mother was, and my sister is. They are all Garu. Well, two of them are. One is gone.
That's a lot.
I grew up in this. It's a blessing and a curse.
Now you're starting to take my sayings.
Hmm?
Now you're starting to take my words.
It's life.
Hmm.
It's true though. Most of the time I'm perfectly happy with it, but there are times that, who doesn't wonder, right? I could have had a childhood where my mom was around. That would have been nice.
In the days before, this would not be a problem. In the days before, we would simply be Garu walking amongst the people, and we would be happy. But the world has changed quite drastically against us. We can no longer walk openly with humanity. We must keep ourselves secret.
I got the last part. The secret part. I think you're doing quite well. Maybe a little bit more than I want to.
Here's hoping you remember it all in the morning.
So, well, you have your family and you have yours, and where do I come from?
I think that might be why Mr. Morningkill was asking you if you had a family member that maybe had disappeared for long periods or something like that, because it's possible that they just kept it a secret from you.
Sina just looks at Alan actually, and she raises her shoulders. I don't know.
You told me that you were adopted. Is that correct?
Mhm. Yeah.
Do you know, or were you ever told about your birth parents?
No. We tried to find them, but never succeeded. Never.
There must have been a reason for that. The only reason that could come to mind is simply they did not want to introduce you to this invisible world. They wanted you to live your life without it. I don't think they intended for you to be ignorant your entire life, but I think they expected the nation to at least be able to keep tabs on you.
How do you keep tabs of someone that you don't know of?
Miss. No, excuse me. Cinna,
Hmm?
do you ever think about them? What they could be like? What they would think of you?
Mm, never really did. It's what use is it to think on parents that dumped you? And don't get me wrong, I love well, my parents, you know. So it doesn't feel like I'm dumped with them. Not anymore, but there there have been times. I don't know. I don't really care what they think of me. They left me, you know.
What if there was a reason for that? Or what if they died? Maybe it wasn't their choice.
A grim thought.
But still, the point being, if it wasn't their choice, then they didn't really abandon.
For all intents and purposes, this invisible world is in war. War often enough has casualties. War often enough tears us apart and makes us do things we don't want to do.
I remember when I was 4. I always used to dream that my dad would be a superhero coming to pick me up whenever I had to eat my vegetables, you know. This is nuts. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it is. It is crazy. It's so crazy. I mean, I sometimes sit back and go, man, I grew up with this stuff, and I still kind of go, yeah, right. It's like a movie or something.
Hmm. Who was the dude in the suit?
Which, you mean the one who gave you the phone?
Hmm.
Apparently, he's in charge of the Sept. He must be pretty special to get that phone. No, he never gave me one of those.
I don't feel very special.
You
Though I
should,
do
though.
have a special feeling. I think I'm gonna be so sick in the morning.
For the record, there's a trash can by the door. There's one in the bathroom and one in the kitchen.
Cinna, tell me about the people that raised you, that you call parents, that you call mom and dad.
I guess I was lucky to be adopted by them. My dad has this business, but they are actually like, uh, they like to call it old blood from time to time. You know, Lord and Lady Harris.
Wow.
Mm, it comes with a lot of rules and a lot of English posh and stuff. I was very happy to leave. I love them, but I was very happy to leave. Not that much. Yeah, they were okay. I mean, I didn't see my dad. Well, I saw him a lot, I guess. It could be worse, but He was away for long periods on end, like sometimes 3 weeks in a row, just going from one business to the other, to the other, to the other, even flying abroad, away from the UK. My mom was, she ran the household. I had a governant. I did not listen to that. So they did send me to school, luckily, later on. Mm,
Did you feel loved? Did you feel safe? Were you happy?
I, I guess I was never particularly not happy. I mean, sure, every kid wants a pony at the age of 4. Well, boo-hoo, I got one when I was 8. But I did get one in the end. My parents were not, they were not Forbes 500, but they they had enough money that they could give me everything that I wanted, though I think they postponed stuff deliberately, but more to teach me how to handle money than. I think they genuinely love me, and I think I love them. That's, yeah.
Then you should feel so blessed.
I never said I wasn't with them.
Feel blessed. People don't know how to feel blessed anymore. It. I say that we're in a war, and we are. And it's war on many, many fronts. A lot of us see many, many terrible things. But every time we hear something like this, that somebody was loved and taken care of, that bolsters us. We like that. We love to hear stories like that.
Okay, I'll keep it in mind.
Stories are a big thing.
As for you, they are. There's an entire class of people dedicated to that. Storytelling, lore keeping, singing, dancing, something to keep us preoccupied, something to keep us, spur us on.
Okay, guess I can do that.
That's not necessarily your job, but if you find yourself doing so, fantastic.
What is my job?
We don't know yet, but we're gonna find out. Right now, everything's pretty much up in the air. Up in the air is nebulous. We don't really have a tack on anything hard and fast. But I guarantee you, when everything settles down, you will have a purpose. You'll be both exactly what you are and greater.
And possibly even more confused, but it'll pass.
Don't think I can get much more confused than at the moment.
What are you gonna do tomorrow?
Having a hangover?
After the hangover?
don't know. Probably sitting home thinking. I'm usually not one to sit very long, so maybe it's gonna be walking around and thinking.
It's quite a lot to take in.
Yeah.
You won't be alone. You'll
Nope.
have this one here. This one I trust.
Leah smiles at that one.
This one close to my own heart.
You don't need to. Don't need to keep an eye on me. I can do that myself.
You can.
Oh,
No, you can. I know you can. It, there are reasons why they want you to have company. Because they know it's going to be really confusing, and the weirdest questions will probably come to you on the fly. And I'm guessing he had me do it because, I mean, I'm not likely to turn into a big scary monster, but I still know what's going on.
I thought wolves could only change like with full moon and everything.
eh, like I said, some of the myths get a little bit right. They're definitely inspired by true things. Oh, how do I explain it? The moon. There's a term. It's called lunacy. Did you know that 911 calls increase in frequency over a full moon? Have you ever asked yourself why that is?
I know there's more ER visits over that time period, too.
Exactly. It seems like everybody just simply goes batshit crazy when the moon is completely full. Have you ever asked yourself why that is?
No.
Because the moon, Luna, she's temperamental. She has her good moods and she has her wrathful moods. And she gives the people a measure of her wrath when she is facing the earth. When she is facing away, that rage is very shallow, but when it is full, it comes in full force. When the moon is full, when Luna shows us her entire face, there are many of the people that cannot control themselves, that do become the raging war form. 'Tis very dangerous, and 'tis why we self-monitor ourselves. We know that Luna does give us a lot of power, but we know if that's directed the wrong way, terrible things happen.
Okay.
So I guess the point is that there is an element of truth in the whole full moon thing, but it's by no means the rule.
The people can shapeshift at will. We just lose control when the moon is full.
Really only some, right? I know of one.
There are some of us that are given a cup and a half of rage. I could try to explain all the forms, but not really all that necessary. And I myself don't take many forms. Not when I don't have to. I like where I am right now.
I tend to see basically about 3 or 4 forms used more than others. Depends on the person, really. There are different preferences.
Hmm. I like this farm. It's where I'm most calm.
So, you said about Black Furies and uh, children, children of Gaia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are those the only two families?
Are those what?
Are those the only two families?
No. There's more.
Okay.
The family that you're a part of, or at least the most distinct, the one that we suspect, the one that we do not know, is we suspect that you are a Silverfang. The Silverfang are a tribe that hails from far, far into the east, East Europe and beyond, towards Stalingrad and Moscow, to the frozen waste. They're a very, very grim people. I would know. I count one of them as one of my close friends, and they are very, very grim, very controlling, very noble. You'll find that tribes more often than not look at one general area of the globe,
Okay.
but maybe those are lessons for another day or another night. Again, I would have done this differently. Cinna, I would have done this, yes, I would have done this, well, in about 12 hours from now. We would have been with all those volunteers. I would have talked to you about simple things, not this heavy stuff. I certainly wouldn't have panicked you or caused paranoia with this talk about war and this talk about an enemy.
It's okay. I guess. I don't know. Can't. I hear you, but I can't really hear you. Does that sound weird?
That might be the alcohol talking. Or your brain saying stop. But it's
It's
okay.
like there's this bucket. That's my head and it's filled with water and there's water streaming out. It is streaming in this big other bucket. It's also in my head. But I can't reach that bucket yet, so maybe it becomes more clear tomorrow. I can't understand what you're saying. It's almost like you're speaking in a different language for me. But
That's cool.
I'll learn and I'll get there. And I'll
You
learn the
will.
secret language. And I will I will fight if I need to or something, I don't know. I'm not really want to give up. But this is just above my head.
Fair enough. It's. I can imagine it'd be tough.
I just need time to understand what's been said.
Go to sleep, Cinna. Go to sleep.
Okay.
Um, let me grab you some like pillows and stuff. She goes to the big front closet, pulls out some blankets and like a pillow. Basically some things Alan might recognize from that one weird night. And sets him on the end of the couch.
Suna will just grab a handful of the blankets and pillow and pull them over herself. She'll actually still hold the bottle almost as a favorite pet toy, as she just
Check to make sure there's a lid on it.
yes, there is.
Okay. Because that would make a mess all over my new couch.
Otherwise, it was empty anyway. It's just an empty bottle. For some reason, it's very important. Bottle. I don't know why.
Not gonna fight it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And she that might be the alcohol or the stress or something, but it's basically 3, 2, 1, and she's gone.
Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and grab over there by just so it's there if she needs it.
Leah?
Alan. Silver tongue. Should I be calling you that now?
You can if you want.
I can.
What happened tonight?
Apparently a trip to an art gallery that went badly awry.
Did
I'm not sure what you mean.
I'm wondering if we made the right choices.
What do you mean?
Whether it was really... Whether or not Cinnamon actually needed this burden placed on her. Whether or not I am too paranoid, or not paranoid enough. Whether or not I am doing all that I can, or all that I should.
You're probably more worried about this stuff than half the other people on the set. I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. It's just how you are. I appreciate that about you, actually, that you actually care. Don't blow it off. I made you a compliment. I meant it.
Mm.
When it comes to right decisions, God, I don't know. I mean, honestly, the choice was taken out of both of our hands. It wasn't our decision to make.
That could have driven you away.
It could have driven me away.
Yeah. Gone anywhere else but with the group.
But you can't see the future. How are you supposed to know that that was an issue?
I could have made up an excuse. I could have made up a story.
To keep her from learning.
Yes.
This is her heritage. It's her, in a way, it's her right to know. if there was something like that in my past and I didn't know and no one told me, admittedly I wouldn't know. But if I found out somebody kept it from me, I would have been mad.
You talk about lineages. Too many people put too much emphasis on lineage. Xavier.
Yeah, I've heard the royal dick stuff. He told me himself. Underneath all of his bluster, he's just a scared guy who doesn't know what the hell happened to his family. Aside from part of it, which, yeah, I still need to talk to him about that. But anyway.
He has not lived, not grown up. He's not lived and he has not grown up running.
He's a good guy. He's really quick. He makes quick and often bad decisions. But he always means well.
I'm starting to realize that I grew up very differently from the other people in the sept.
You did. That doesn't make it any worse. Or any better, really. Just different.
Contemplates told me a story of his childhood. He told me the story of an arena where he and several of the other cubs and the other kin before they were cubs continued to fight each other over and over again to see who was the strongest and see who could survive.
Ugh.
Must be the way of the Git.
See, this is the kind of shit that makes me want to hit somebody. It makes me want that rage or back.
Tis his tribe. Tis his tradition. I also heard from Logan about how he was sheltered since he was Metis. He was sheltered by his aunts and his mothers. And he told me. And I made the offer to find out more about his father. His father was a child of Gaia that fell without ever knowing him.
Wow. That's wow.
I said that I would go and find out more about him for him. I thought that would be a good turn for him.
Is he interested?
Very. He promised to build me a one-room schoolhouse if I did.
To build a one-room schoolhouse? For who?
For me.
Just for you.
Well, for the new Karen that we might set up.
Oh, right.
The whole big tree. Right in Long Island. It's wonderful. It's a place of new opportunities. A place to make everything different or right. It wouldn't have everything like preconceived like here. We could make it ever we wanted. It's wonderful. Brand new opportunities.
You sound excited.
I am. Genuinely excited. I want to see something grow. I want to build something. Leah, I want to build something. I want to build something.
I don't think anything's gonna wake her. And it's just as well. Let's let her brain soak in. I like seeing you excited, though.
Hmm.
Because you've seemed really depressed for a while now. Well, at least the last, week? Because, we've been hanging out so long now that I can really compare all your moods to everything, but whatever. Of course, the storm meter was in there, so nobody could expect a good mood out of that, but yeah.
Do you need me here? As far as I can tell, there are plenty of other Garu wanting to step up and be a knight.
What are you talking about?
Senna has many, well, she seems like a very popular kinfolk right now.
She's new.
So you expect the novelty to wear off at some point.
Or she'll just make a lot of friends, and that's fine too. You're asking if I need you here, though? Why? Are you trying to leave?
Well, this place is rather cramped, and I thought you would be a good influence on her when she woke up.
A good influence, huh?
She needs somebody who's mostly in the same position that she will be in for a long while. I'm, for all intents and purposes, I'm still Gairu.
You are?
Mm,
I'll put it this way. I don't need you to stay here for her. If you stayed, it would be more personal. Which makes it your call. If you need to go, then go.
well, tomorrow, or I should say, like I said, 12 hours, I was supposed to be doing a cleanup operation with this one over here, but that's not going to happen.
I don't see why not. If she wants to do it, if she's not hungover. I mean, if you're there, then she's got somebody around. I don't even have to be.
In 12 hours, she'll still be sick and vomiting.
We'll see. Maybe we're lucky. Maybe she's got a really strong stomach.
Mm, maybe.
That's up to her. What does it have to do with if you stay here or if you go somewhere else?
Because I'm very worried and concerned about you.
Okay. What about me?
You came to face with the enemy today. If anything had happened to you, I don't think I know what I would do with myself. Just the thought of somebody hurting you maybe had to count. I don't like that feeling.
So you're trying to distance yourself?
No, I'm trying to do whatever it takes to calm me down.
I was gonna say, because if it had something to do with that, then you should have tried that back when we found out that you were gonna kill me in some weird random future. That would have been a more appropriate time for it.
Nah, I guess we're in it for the long haul. Or at least the longer haul.
10 years or so, anyway.
Fair enough.
Just tell me plainly, what is it that you want to do? I'm not here to judge. I just want to understand.
What I want to do right now. Alan goes ahead and walks over. Goes ahead and wraps his arms over her shoulder and her back. What I want is I want to hold you, and I never, ever want to let go.
Wow. Those are some serious words there.
I know it's stupid. I know it's corny. I know it's absolutely childish.
You know, none of those things are things I was thinking.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking how amazing it felt that you said that. She wraps her arms around him and pulls him even closer, but not just wanting to be close.
It's just. I don't really can't.
You
I
can't right
can't.
now.
I can't. No, I just can't. I don't even know. No, I do know. I do know why. I do know why you're so important. So many others. So many others that I think about every day. I
I
always
know.
come back to you.
You take on the whole world on your back, and the world is made up of kinfolk, at least. You think like every one of us is your responsibility. We're all people. We take responsibility for ourselves, and you can't do everything for everybody.
You're right.
Doesn't change your mind at all, but it's okay. So tell me why then.
Why what?
You said you knew why. Your mind always came back to me. Tell me why.
I think it's because you're the kin that I connected to that I did not personally bring out of that hellhole. I think it's because you're not attached to all the craziness.
No, I have my own craziness going on over here.
True, but it's a different, wonderful kind of craziness. And seriously, all the kin that I brought, they have their own families. They have their own families, they have their own lives. I just go ahead and watch over them. With you, it's different. With you, I share so much more.
Scars? I'm just kidding.
Ellen goes ahead and rubs that bit of scar tissue on her shoulder where she was hit with the arrow.
Kind of sucks looking in the mirror every day and knowing you did that.
I wonder if I could take it away.
It's not necessary.
I can heal the world, I think. I figure I want to.
This is gonna sound weird when it comes to that thing on my shoulder, but every other tangible bit of proof of what we went through has disappeared. The journal, the stuff I brought back, the everything is gone except that. This is like the one tangible bit of proof of what I've gone through. It doesn't need to go away.
Alright. You do realize this is only the second time we've had a heart-to-heart conversation with a unconscious person in the other room.
Same room.
Fair enough. I wonder what she's dreaming right now.
Probably of a lupus that looked just like Logan that she's playing with in a field somewhere.
Mm.
And there's probably a bottle of wine next to her, or she looks, no, vodka.
Vodka does sound right for her people.
You've come to really mean something to me. I'm just telling you. You're like saying all these sweet things, and I'm just like, I don't know if I've ever actually said.
Alright. What do I mean to you?
Well, aside from the fact that you're rather overprotective at times.
Comes with the Garu thing.
Not everybody's as overprotective. But it definitely comes with you, and God, Callie's way worse. Oh my God, that woman. I know that if something happens, I know I can always depend on you to come find me if I need to. Not that I'm looking for a white knight, but maybe I found a somewhat gray knight.
Girl, believe me, there is an entire... Actually, there is one totem in Unicorn's Brew directly who is a chivalrous goddamn knight.
Yeah, well, if you feel like being chivalrous, that isn't quite the way you go, though.
I don't think I can be a very, very chivalrous knight. I just want to protect people.
And that's something I really admire about you. Just the fact that you just try so hard. You get so frustrated you can't do more. And I'm just going, you can't do more. You can only do what you can do. You're one person. And then you're like, yeah, I know. And then the next second, you're back to doing it again. I mean, yeah, okay, so I know some stuff about this stuff, but I don't think I've met anybody as selfless.
I'll take that compliment and put it in my back pocket.
Yeah, you do that. I guess I'm just glad we connected.
You know, you could have connected with any other Garu in the set.
Doubtful.
Doubtful?
Yeah.
I could see you with anybody. You're very, very, well, you're definitely a very, very sweet.
Oh, God. Here we go again. I
Very
will
sweet.
say this. You're different from most of the other people I've ever dated.
Really?
But I think it's, yeah. But I think it's a good thing.
Is the wolf thing? Is it the wolf thing?
Well, there is that. That's a big part of it, but that's not what I was talking about. Just because I was around them doesn't mean I dated them. I wasn't that, I wasn't doing that at that point in my life. I can show you a picture of the guy I went to prom with.
Oh, please, please, please. I would love to see you with acne.
Oh, I didn't have acne. He did, but I didn't. I'm not actually to dig it out. I showed Callie when I first came back, when I first came here, because she was, I don't know, she actually seemed jealous that I got to go to prom.
Callie was jealous that you were able to go to prom. Well then.
No, think about it. I was jealous of her because she got to be what I wanted to be, but she was jealous of me because I got to live a normal life. I don't know how she feels currently. Not jealous anymore, though.
Were you ever jealous?
Yeah, totally was.
Now why? Why would you need to be jealous? What in the world does Kelly have that you don't have?
She got to be guy's chosen, and I'm just a little kinfolk girl.
You are one of the children of Gaia. You don't have to be a part of any tribe. You don't have to go through any sort of first change. You are one of the people.
I know. But you're talking, I was 15. It's a totally different thing. I was 15 when she had her first change. And for some reason, I just thought I always would. And then I didn't. I think it's more a case of where she went, I always went, And that was a place she went that I couldn't follow.
Hmm. I wish I knew I wish I understood the runes a lot more. I don't.
You don't wish that, or you don't understand them?
Don't understand them.
I don't understand why she gets so grrr at the drop of a hat. I mean, I kind of do, I guess. When I told her about that red orb, she told me that it sounded like maybe I was at about the same rage level as she was. So maybe I can tell you what it's like. For all, 10, 15 minutes worth of it. I was pissed off. That was some massive anger right there.
Travis came to me.
When?
Just before the art gallery. He asked me why Xavier was grounded.
Oh.
I didn't give him details. I just simply said that he was grounded because he went on a dangerous mission without informing me, and that he endangered the lives of 2 kinfolk.
He might have asked because of me.
Fair enough.
Well, my arm was still all wrapped up when I talked to him the other day. And I think I might have mentioned Xavier. I don't remember exactly.
Mm.
So that might be why. I didn't go into details either, though.
Xavier met the worst. He met the worst. He met something that was meant to destroy him. Not physically, but spiritually. Katori's with him now, or at least I left him with them. But Katori himself is not doing all that well either. He's currently brooding quite heavily.
So, yeah. Dirt Veils, right?
Well, the last thing that happened was I left Xavier and Katori back at the Sept, and I told Xavier that he was grounded there.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen him, so I actually should go try to find him.
Go find him. Make sure that he's good. Make sure that he isn't destroyed. I told him not to be destroyed.
That's the thing, though. I'm the one who did the shot on his cousin. I'm not sure he wants to see me. I mean, I stand by it. I think it had to be done. He hasn't said anything against it since, but to be honest, he hadn't said much at all about anything.
Go talk to him. He needs... Well, unfortunately, you're stuck with that one over there.
Yeah, well, maybe I can talk her into going with me.
Eh.
She might as well get used to it. Sept is kind of second home, really.
Yeah. Could be a boon for her to look at somebody else also going through these kind of weird-ass changes. God damn it, it's like a second puberty.
You know, technically, I think maybe I'm not done with mine yet. Doesn't it usually last longer than 18?
Yeah.
So if I get a growth spurt, hey, maybe I'll actually get tall.
I'll tell you one thing. According to my totem, it doesn't matter how big you are. Because the bigger they are, the easier it is to hit them.
I can appreciate that. Tonight wasn't your fault. I'm just telling you. You take all the blame for everything. Nobody even got hurt. I mean, in theory, based on things that, you know, may or may not happen, who knows? But we're all okay. We're here. Senna's going to be okay. And if nothing else, she makes a nice, couch weight at the moment.
Alan is currently sitting on the floor, leaning against the wall. Child guy stick right beside him, looking at the sleeping, very, very drunken, comatose Cinna. I think this is what a father feels when a bad shit happens.
No wonder you said you weren't really up for kids yet, huh?
Hmm?
You have 10. Said no wonder you said you weren't really up for kids yet, huh? First time we really talked,
Mm-hmm.
you had like 10,000 of them in your head.
I can't even
Just
close my eyes without thinking of all of them.
she and I are gonna be fine.
Hmm?
If you need to go do something else, go do it.
All right.
I'm not here to trap you. I could try, work my feminine wiles or something, but that just seems sort of cheesy at the moment.
All right. I leave her with you.
I'll talk to her tomorrow morning if she's at all feeling not sick, which is not likely.
I'm sure several of the other Garu are going to want to walk by and do their own sentry duty.
As long as they let us both get some sleep tonight, that's fine. Because I will kick some Garu ass if they decide to wake either me or her up. I will find some way.
Contact Val. Make sure that he understands what happened. Make sure he understands the situation, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm going to text him to let him know that I'm probably not going to make work tomorrow, and then I'll make the hours up later and I'll figure it out. But
Mm-hmm.
he'll be okay. He knows how this goes.
Why do I feel like the safest option is just simply to take both of you away?
Did I? No, I probably didn't. I'm going to answer that in the same way that I answered Callie when she wanted me to promise that if it looked like we were losing, Storm Eater, that I was to leave with Vale and his family and Xavier. I didn't. I don't think I told you that, but Callie wanted me to promise, and I wouldn't.
Mm.
You don't get to make me leave. If I choose to leave, I will leave. You don't get to make me leave.
Very well. I am one call away. At least I will hear the screaming.
Why would you hear the screaming? Do you have a bug in my house?
Nah. Alan's currently, he just has his stick. He's currently rubbing it into the ground, probably rubbing a circle into it. Still anxious, but he goes ahead and uses the stick to stand up.
Leah's sitting on one of the arms of the chair, just kind of facing him. Not in the chair, on the arm. Because I'm cool like that.
Mhm. Goes over, gives her one last embrace, goes ahead and whispers, try to get some sleep. It's getting to be the early morning.
I'm gonna text Bill first, and I'll tell him that I can explain later. I'm not doing that way.
Alan's going to go ahead and start to walk towards the door. It's not really a very long walk because it's just a small, cramped apartment.
Hey, be careful.
Stay safe.
Always.
Alan goes ahead and proceeds to do the laborious unlocking of every single lock on the door. It seems like somebody has retained some paranoia, or some of that paranoia started to bleed over.
Hey, small town girl moving to New York City. Are you kidding me?
Goes ahead, walks out, and closes the door behind him, leaving Leah to do as she is wont to do.
Well, she's going to sit there for a moment, send out a text to Vale, kind of look around the place for just a second. Kind of odd. It's so small, it feels a little empty now. And she walks over to relock all those locks. And to head. She'll clean up in the morning.
Very well. And thus we end our scene. Thank you everybody for watching. We hope you have a good night.